He met her out in Tennessee, yeah, old Mississippi. He was told that he could be free just as soon as he forgets. Out in the Midwest, the wind blows hard, gets to stirring things around. Thoughts start blowing through your head and your feet get hungry for the ground.
So, I guess it was about a year or two ago, I met an old timer who was talking about how he'd split rails, take a log and just take wedges and sledgehammers and split it and make a fence out of it. And it kind of just stayed in the back of my mind. And then more recently I was reading about Abraham Lincoln and how he was nicknamed the fence splitter or the rail splitter many years ago, when I think in one of his campaigns. So I looked a little more into it and just kind of got re-interested in the subject. And here we are in 2015, and a lot of our ash trees here in Montour County, Pennsylvania are dying because of the emerald ash borer. It's an invasive bug from Asia. And so I've got, dozens of ash trees that are now dead on my property, and I'm doing as much salvage logging as I can, sending the big logs to the sawmill to salvage the lumber and the little stuff for firewood. But I thought this is a perfect chance to experiment with some of this rail splitting. And it's been a lot of fun. This shouldn't surprise you at all, but like the easiest ones to split are the ones with the least amount of knots and branches. So, but those are also your prime logs you want to send to the sawmill. So you're kind of in between. And what is nice though is if you kind of get a real windy one or a bendy one. I guess there's no great examples here. That's not going to a sawmill if you have a real kind of bent log, but it's perfect for this kind of a thing because it doesn't matter if you got a little bit of a wane to it. But I just alternated the way I stacked them. I read in the old days they would often try to be, let me get this right, hog low, horse high. The idea being you could have hogs in there and they can't get out real easily, and you want to make them high enough that a horse isn't going to easily hop over there. The other thing about them historically is, if need be, you could kind of, in just a little bit of time, you could relocate your fence side. So if I wanted to have like grazing paddocks, with just a little bit of work, I could kind of move one wall and have the whole thing shift. And I don't know how many years to expect it to last. We'll see. I'm sure in the old days, if you had locust, or I know I've read about American chestnut and whatnot, that would last a long time. So here, this is all ash. We'll see how it lasts.
Out here in Tennessee, which is when I'm biting cold. He ain't seen the sun come up, and he don't know which way is home. Well, he's got that old guitar, and it's got a busted tune. Got it slung up on his shoulder, hard to tell down strumming. He ought to write someone a letter, tell him how things have been. Started off with a blank line and do the same thing until the end. He's got a string on his finger, a scrap of paper in his vest. The more he's out here walking around, the more he starts to forget. Well, when he finally finds her, he can tell her how he feels. All these weeks of footstep beats have made it all so real. He's been seeing it over and over, running through his mind. Her long true hair and her chestnut eyes keep driving him down the line. Strumming that old guitar in some old mountain bar. Start some song about this girl that he loved, every note right from his heart.
Sure beats carrying him.
Well, as he starts to look up, catch a glimpse.
So the design that I kind of borrowed that I liked the most from researching these different split rail fences was this kind of zigzag design. So they're just kind of, there's not an exact angle there. I mean, some of my corners are 90 degrees, but some of them I'm getting pretty wide, and it's pretty solid. I'm going to do for a doorway. I'm going to leave just enough space open that I can still get in and out of the apple orchard here. And I don't know how perfect this design is, but the design I kind of settled on is I've got kind of these guys coming at a 90-degree angle from the fence. I got it going on this side too, and I've got them sticking out about 10 inches or so that once I'm kind of done here and I'm up high enough, I'll be able to just take, you know, take boards and put them sideways. And then with just a little bit of effort, you know, take them off, put them out of the way, and I can get a piece of equipment in there if I need to, like, just go in and mow or something, for example. But I don't know how well that'll work, but it's the best idea I came up with for now. So when I'm all done, probably shoot for something about that high. And I'll probably come along with the saw here in the next few days and lop off some of the extras, make it a little neater. Now the real question is, did I build it high enough to keep the deer off my apples this year? We'll find out.
Red moon, won't you give me some room? 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 Play it now. Do it again, do it again, do it again. Red moon, won't you give me some room? Red moon, won't you give me some room?